All right, 2011 Honda Odyssey, and we are replacing the alternator today. Just doing a little bit of inspection. That's new. That's new. Missing a coolant cap. Got some peanuts on the top of the engine here. So I think what it looks like, I already checked the wirings and everything and make sure everything's there and whatever I need for that alternator to work is working. But, just because this thing is new, what looks like is there used to be oil on there, and yeah, so kind of put two and two together. But it's good to check your wirings before. So what you want to do is we're going to be taking this reservoir out, this coolant bottle out, and then take the drive belt out. And what I like to do is when you take the belt off, you take this tensioner out. It just helps make it easy for this alternator to come out this way. And then there's a steel line for the coolant bottle out there. You just gotta take it off those clips, right? And then I just usually swing it off to the side, but with no cap on there. I just gotta make sure it doesn't spill everywhere. Or if there any, well, it has coolant in there on the middle mark between the max and low. So let's get started. Make sure you disconnect the battery too. I can't stress that enough. And I also tested the battery with our battery tester, and it tested bad, so I'm going to be replacing that too. Alright, so at this point, I haven't taken the belt off yet, but I did take the power steering reservoir out. I pinched it off, right? Put the coolant bottle over there. Also removed the bracket that holds that coolant bottle. Disconnect, well, there's one 10 mil there that takes this harness off. So the positive cable nut on there is a 12 mil. They also give you a little cutout so you can get a extension through, right? And then you disconnect the plug back here, and yeah, after that I can start taking the belt off, and then also that tensioner down there. There should be a 14 in the middle, and then there's a 12 mil at the bottom that locates it. And also I took this 10 mil off the AC line just to give me some slack to move around. Usually take this power steering reservoir out first before taking the belt, because it's going to help you in getting that tensioner, because that hose is going to be right in the way of you trying to release it, and it's just going to be on it when you get the belt off. So make sure you get this reservoir out and all these other things out first. Makes it easier. And if you're taking the belt off and you can't remember how the belt goes, make sure you draw it out on a piece of paper. And if you forgot to and you're watching this video, there it is. Alright, so I'm going to be taking the tension off. It's just a 14 mil on the center pulley on the bottom one, and then there's a 12 mil just beside it, right underneath it. You might be wondering why I'm taking it off. Why can't I just take that alternator out like that? Because of this AC line, I'm going to have to go, because this AC line's in the way, it's going to be a little bit tougher to get this alternator out. So, it's only 2 bolts. This thing comes out easy. Yeah, rather than bending this AC line out of the way, I can get this alternator out easier. So now that tensioner is off, I just leave it hanging off from the side. Now you can see what I'm talking about. You got that extra space there for the alternator to come out, and you don't have to, bend these lines or the AC lines, to get the alternator out. So the next part is you're gonna thank me for this, but there's gonna be a dowel at the bottom bolt, and yeah, so I want to show you what I do to before I take this out, so I can get the new one in easier. So before I take the alternator out, what you want to do is get yourself a small pry bar. See if I can get this out of the way so I can show you. So what you want to do is, right where the alternator, the top of the alternator is, and then the top of the head, just give it a little, pry. I can get a better angle here. Say like right there. Pry it a little bit sideways. What that does is it'll push in that dowel at the bottom, so you can get your new alternator in. Get the new alternator in easier. So just do that. See how it just made a click sound? That sound, it just means that I pushed that dowel out of the way, and this alternator should come out easy, and then the new one should go in easy too. And that way, you're not struggling to get the alternator out, and not struggling to get the new alternator in, because now it moves freely and it just can slide in and out, and you can stick your bolt in. So as you can see, I got the alternator out pretty easy. You don't technically need to lift the car up, but I put it on there just in case, because you know, you drop your bolts or you drop your sockets, you gotta get it somehow. So you can do everything from the top. It's pretty easy. But you can see this alternator is all caked in with oil. So a lot of times it looks like someone replaced that spool valve. The spool valve was probably leaking all the oil on here. Alternator was probably still working, and yeah, now it decides to quit because you know, it got in there somehow and shorted something, or you know, whatever happened to it to cause it to stop charging. Hyundais are pretty bad for on their 3.3 liters and 3.5 liter V6s because they keep coming out with this recall since 2011, when they came out when I was working there. Yeah, 2011 or something. And you know, they said to replace the valve cover and replace the alternator, and even up till now it's just like I know it's a timing cover that's leaking. So but they decided to silicone the crap out of it and put a plastic funnel or something to funnel the oil away from the alternator rather than resealing the timing cover under a recall. But yeah, anyways, so spool valve is leaking, looks like it's covered in oil. It's what caused this alternator to fail. I wonder if this is an OEM one. Oh yeah, it's an OEM one. It says Honda on it, under all the dirt and oil. So yeah, so if you want to, so once you're done, everything is a reverse order of installation. And yeah, so when you pried on it, right down there, oh, my oily fingers, there's a dowel right there that when you pried on it, just to push this thing out, that way your new one can go in. And that's what I was trying to show you. So anyways, oh, and by the way, this is the part number for the OEM Honda alternator, if you're all wondering. Yeah, go ahead. So once you're done putting back everything, you know, top up your power steering fluid, you know, double check your charging system. Now it's charging at 14.3 volts, so that's all good. And that's it. So hope you liked the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Please like and subscribe.